Okay, first and foremost, I want to give all honors and praises and glory belongeth to Yahweh by Sham Yahavashai, Wahasham, Wahavaka Kwadash. The name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahavashai, who we reverence. And double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone that teaches truth well, and to the hopeful elect across the globe, and to the very few brothers and sisters listening and also learning across the globe. This lesson is going to be another serious lesson, because most of these lessons are serious. It's about serious matters. And as a judge, what do judges do? Judges deal with matters. Okay? And what are we being raised up to be? Judges of matters. Okay? So when we're judging matters, are we judging a matter, or are we judging a brother because you don't like him? Because you can judge a brother and your judgment can be so off just because you don't like him. That's not true judgment. Judgment has to be balanced, fair. We're going to start off on, bear me just a minute, because there's a lot right here. We're going to go to Samuel 8 and 3. Start at 8. And it came to pass when Samuel, you know about the prophet Samuel, who was a righteous man, righteous prophet, was old, that he made his sons judges over Israel. Why? Because he was waxing older. So what, he set his sons, just like you, when you wax older, you set your son over your business or whatever you have. Now the name of the firstborn was Joel. Okay. And the name of his second, Abiah. They were judges in Bathsheba. Verse 3, and his sons walked not in his ways. So they weren't walking in the ways of Samuel. Samuel was walking in the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Why? Because he was a just judge. But turned aside. And to turn aside means to pervert. Okay. To twist. Okay. To swerve. Turn aside after lucre. What's lucre? Gain. Money. And took bribes. What's bribes? Payoffs. Okay. Money. Gifts. True men of the Lord, they're not going to take gifts. And perverted judgment. Twisted judgment. That's what happens when you're giving gifts. When someone sends you gifts. Okay. This is what happens. Okay. This is what happens. Okay. And that's why shortly after this, what happened? What happened? They were judged. Okay. Because they were not walking in the ways of what? The Lord. So Lord, what? Judged them. Okay. That's why we can't be partial in this truth. Bear me just a minute. There's flipping serious matters. This ain't a joke. Can't be in that respecter of persons. Let's quickly go to, again, Deuteronomy 1 and 17, Baba Kashar. Then we're going to jump straight to, I believe it's James, because this was going on in the truth. The same rule, depending on the circumstance, but the same rule of judgment applies to everybody in the truth. Everybody. No man is exempt from judgment. And that's the reason why this lesson is being done, because this is what I see in the truth. This is what I see. And it's mostly with men that are of high position, status. Just like, example, I just want to throw this out there. I don't want to talk too much. You know, in this world, if you have an officer, a police officer, okay, which they're masons on a low level, but they're masons, okay, they take an oath. But you know, if a police officer does a particular crime, the other police officers, they've been taught to defend that officer because they're one of their own. But according to the law of the scriptures, you're not supposed to be doing that. But see, this is the laws of Esau. what do you call it? Your judicial system, or whatever you want to call it. Officers, police officers are taught to do that. And that's why these police officers, they get off scot-free. Okay? Because what? They're corrupt. Us in this truth, we're not supposed to be corrupt. We're supposed to call it how you see it. And that's it. Okay? Deuteronomy 1 and 17. A lot of partiality going on. And it's usually with those that are in high places. Demons all up in them high places. Let's go to Deuteronomy 1 and 17. Ye shall not respect persons in judgment. Okay? Oh, but I know him. But I know this guy. Now you can't say this about him. I know him. So what? So because you know him, what does that now that blinds your judgment? So what if you know him? What's that got to do with anything? It's about the Lord's will. And I'm shouting right now because the Lord's will ain't truly being done. Because you know someone. What's that got to do with judgment? Or because you know him, because you're cool with him. That's off. It's off. But you shall hear the small as well as the great. So the small, those that are looked down upon in this society, haven't got much say, haven't got the backing of the world, as well as the great. Someone that has more status, as you can see in this image as well, which we're going to explain this image very soon. You shall not be afraid, okay, of the face of man, because if you're afraid of the face of man, then true judgment is not going to go out. Oh, but I'm scared of him. I'm scared what he might say. No, see, this is where you have to trust in Yahweh Shai. This is where you got to trust in Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai has given you this wisdom and knowledge and understanding, so you can make some decisions are going to be hard, but you're going to have to make these decisions in the spirit. That's why Yahweh Shai gives you wisdom, knowledge, and understanding also, to see what you're going to do in particular situations, see how you go into judge matters. You shall not be afraid of the face of man, for judgment is of the Most High's. So, who really has the end say? It's Yahweh Shai. He has the end say. So, you're not supposed to fear what man can say. And again, you know what this reminds me of? Those that were kicked out. You had those that did not confess Yahweh Shai because they were scared that they'd be kicked out of the synagogue. Who gives a shit? Because if the Spirit is with you, it doesn't matter. Whether you're with a body, whether you're with a camp, it doesn't matter because the Spirit's going to be with you. And that's where that true fear comes in. Okay? For the judgment is the Most Highest, because He has the final say. And that the cause that is too hard for you, bring it unto me. And that was also known as what Moses' father-in-law told him to do as well, because he couldn't deal with every matter. And I will hear it. Okay? So, again, what are we supposed to be doing? Be balanced in the judgment. Okay? But men are not doing that. Okay? That same corrupt shit that was going on back 2,000 years ago with them Pharisees, it's the same thing. See, look, it's so clear. But you need to have eyes to see. It's so clear. It's so clear. Bear me just a minute. Now we're going to go to James, Baba Kashar. Get straight to the point. And when Yahweh Shai was on the scene, the corruption, it was already there. It was already there. How do you know it was there? Because what were they saying? They were saying, I forgot where it is, somewhere in Matthews, if all men shall believe on him, they shall take away our place. So that corruption, it was already there. But when Yahweh Shai came on the scene, he was messing that all up. Okay? He was messing it up. Because men were comfortable. Okay? And they were flipping corrupt. Let's go to James, I think it's 2. Okay? You got, and again, the true brotherhood is the brotherhood of David. Not no Masonic fraternity brotherhood. Okay? Because you got guys standing at camp doing Masonic hand signs and shit. Don't you know the Lord's just going to destroy you? Okay? You can do that all you want. And what's that a sign of? That you're pledging allegiance to Esau. Well, you're done. You want to join hand in hand with the wicked. You're done. You're through. You're finished. You got to be really circumspect in these times. Who you're following, who you're listening to. Got a lot of men that have infiltrated this truth. Okay, James 2. My brethren, have not the faith of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach. So you have the faith, right? The Lord of our glory with respect of persons. You're not supposed to have respect of persons. Bear me just a minute. You're not supposed to have no respect of persons. You may like a man. You may like him a lot. Okay? And this it goes into so many scenarios as well. But you've got to be able to judge. Let me just a minute. Respect of persons means to regard persons with partiality or undue bias. Okay, it's respect of persons is the concept that all people deserve the right to fully exercise their autonomy. Showing respect for persons is a system of interaction in which entity ensures another has agency to able to make a choice. That's not quite it. The first response is more fitting. Okay, there ain't supposed to be no respect for persons with Yahushua at all. You know, at all. And men, what did they show? Partiality. Okay, that's corrupt. James 2. For if they come unto you unto an assembly, so this image basically describes it. You've got the individual on the left hand side. He's suited and booted, got his dog in his hand. You can tell he's very wealthy. Okay, I'm going to go into it. If they come into you, a man with a gold ring. Okay, so this man's decked out, the man on the left, in good apparel. And look, he's got good apparel on. Okay, as you call it, what, a 3-piece suit. Okay, and they come in also a poor man, as you see on the right. Look at him. Okay, ripped up trousers, everything. Okay, he looks raggedy. Okay, and you have respect to him that wherewith, bear with me, let's read that again. They come to you also a poor man in vile raiment, dirty clothing, and you have respect to him that wherewith the gay clothing. Gay clothing means, in other words, neat, okay, rich clothing, like linen and all that rubbish, and say unto him, sit thou here in a good place. Why would you say to the individual in gay clothing, okay, and the man with the ring, sit here in a good place? Why would you say that? Because you're looking on the outwards. The scriptures say that some men think gain is godliness. No. Some of the most wicked people have the most money. Okay? And say to the poor, stand over there, the individual on the right, or sit here under my footstool. You're treating him like shit. Why? Because he's outer appearance, and you're not supposed to be judging on the outward appearance. In the scripture that a man may be known by his look, but you're not merely judging a man on his outward appearance, because what's that saying in the world? Don't judge a book by its cover. You're looking at the inward man, the spirit. Are you not then partial in yourselves? That's that partiality. Partial. Okay? And look, the scriptures, it doesn't deal with being partial. Remember when King David went off? He had to face a judgment. Even Solomon, when he came back as Yahushua. So again, there's no partiality. So how more so, if that happened to Solomon, if that happened to King David, how more so men in the truth that go off? You understand what I'm saying? Man, a lot of guys got this truth twisted. Bear me just a minute. Partiality. And showing partiality is actually a sin. Unfair bias in favor of one person or a thing. Favoritism and attack on partiality of judges. So it's favoritism. It's favoritism. Okay? Are you not then partial in yourselves? See, men are partial between themselves. You understand what I'm saying? And become judges of evil thoughts. So this is how sin creeps up, and therefore you're committing sin when you're doing this. How can you, O my beloved, have not the Most High chosen the poor of this world, rich in faith, okay, the downtrodden, okay, rich in faith, heirs of the kingdom which he hath promised to them that love him, but ye have despised the poor. See again, and you know what this reminds you of? Matthew 23, but ye have despised the poor. Because what I notice in this truth as well, because obviously you're observant, you got men that can only reverence other elders. But what about the men that are below you? Why don't you reverence the men that are below you? Oh yeah, this elder, subscribe to this elder. You know, nothing's wrong with that, but does he have to be an elder to have some type of reverence? That's why it says, but ye have despised the poor. Do not rich men oppress you? So the rich men are those that are of status. The Pharisees were of status. And what were they doing? Oppressing others. Okay? Because they never had a say. They never had pulling power. Okay? And draw you before the judgment seats. And guess what? The Pharisees, they had judgment seats. They were on the seats, sitting on them seats of Herod. Okay? Or should I say Caesar? Okay, same thing anyway. And draw you before the judgment seats. What? To judge you. Okay? Do not they blaspheme that worthy name by which ye are called, Yahweh's name? If you fulfill the royal law, according to the scripture, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Ye do well. Does someone need to teach you that? That should be a natural thing. And that's one of the most important commandments. Secondly, to love the Lord Yahweh power with all thy heart. But if you have respect to persons, you commit sin. You've already committed sin if you do that. And are convinced of the law as transgressors. So you've already transgressed the law, because that's a big, that's a major, and the Lord hates that. Yahweh hates that. Or whoever so shall keep the whole law, yet offend in one point. See, because men will come to you with the law. Okay, the Pharisees, they were coming to the people with the law. But whosoever shall keep the whole law and yet offend in one point, because you got men say, yo, we've got to keep all the laws. Well, you're not doing that. You're not doing that. Because if you were doing that, then guess what? There would be no need for Yahweh Shai. And yet offending one point. So you could say you're keeping the law and offending one point. That means you've broken all. He is guilty of all. For he that said, do not commit adultery, said also do not kill. Because you have an individual say, well, don't do this, don't do that. Now, if thou commit adultery, yet if thou kill, thou become a transgressor. So if you're holding yourself to these things, that means there's a bigger judgment upon your head. You understand what I'm saying? So speak ye and do so as they that shall be judged by the law of liberty. For he shall have judgment without mercy, that shall have no mercy, that showed no mercy, and mercy rejoice over judgment. The Pharisees didn't know about mercy. They were all about judgment. And the scriptures say, unjust balance, Slakia, in Proverbs 11, a false balance and an abomination unto the Lord. They didn't know about balance. They were all about judgment. Nothing's wrong with judgment, because again, we're judges. But there's also what mercy also. And mercy rejoice over judgment. Okay? And that's the major thing. So obviously, yeah, we judge. I judge. Every day I make a judgment. But also we're doing it with balance. What would I do if I was in that situation? And more so the scriptures, because it's not about us. But you understand what I'm saying? That's a true judge. No, not none of this partiality rubbish. Okay? True judges are going to be impartial. Okay? We speak what we see. Okay? Okay, baby, just a minute. Here's Isaiah 59 again, Isaiah 59. Okay? Isaiah 59, because this is a serious thing. A lot of examples. A man could be, you can clearly see a man has hate for another brother in the truth. He's watching your videos, he's gnashing his teeth, he has a dark countenance. And everybody just ignores it because he has some form of status. He may be high in the church. Somebody's got to say, nah, bro, why are you doing this? Why are you acting evil towards your brother? Somebody's got to say that. But a lot of guys, they see it as well. They see the dark countenance in men, the evilness, men gnashing their teeth. It's on camera. But nobody wants to say anything. And another thing, example of individuals that are highly lukewarm. But these same individuals, they could still, claim to be in the truth, and they will still be liked. They'll still be loved, and ain't nobody's gonna say anything to them except from a few men that have the righteous judgment. But nobody else is gonna say anything. So this is how corrupt it's been. A man could be lukewarm as hell and not even believe, and this man will be justified. The corruption is it's already there. It was there 2,000 years ago. And this is why Yahweh Shai, this is why he came in the spirit that he came in. This is why the apostles came in the spirit they came in. Because they had eyes to see. And that's the major thing as well, discernment. Because if you don't have eyes to see, you're just gonna be thinking everything's alright. Everything ain't alright. Okay? Everything is not alright. Bear me just a minute. You know what? I wasn't even looking for this, and I dropped. It was really Isaiah 59 and 14. It's a hard one. But I opened up on Isaiah 34 and 14 because it's the same thing. Let's go to Isaiah 34 and 14. The sinners of Zion are afraid. So you even see that in the truth. Men, they're doing videos, but they just got every video just like a scary countenance. They're scared. What are you scared of? If you know you're doing the right thing by Yahweh Shai, even if you slip, what are you scared of? The scripture says the sinners of Zion are afraid. Have you all sinned? Yeah, we've all sinned. But why did it say the sinners of Zion are afraid? Because their sin, this is to those that sins are going to be imputed upon them. This is according to those that have not had their sins purged. Fearfulness have surprised the hypocrites. So it's letting you know why. Because they're hypocrites. That's why fearfulness has surprised them. Prior to the lockdown, prior to all the things being locked down, I had one goal. And that goal was to please Yahweh Shai. So you're not going to be in a shooken, fearful spirit if that was your goal. But other men, they had different agendas. Other men didn't really believe. So that's why fearfulness have surprised the hypocrites. Certain men, that lockdown happened, they done live shows, they stayed indoors. Some of them went to the forest. And some men, they haven't even came back out into the highways and byways. That's another thing that men ain't speaking about. The scriptures, Yahweh said, bid as much as to the marriage on the highways and byways. Scriptures say in Proverbs 1, wisdom crieth without in the streets. It doesn't say in the forest. It says in the streets. So white men taking heat. And of course you're going to be in a fearful spirit, looking around like someone's coming to get you. Because you're not doing what Yahweh Shai says. Who amongst us shall dwell with devouring fire? So there's some, could even be in your camp that are going to be burnt up with fire. Because they're not doing what Yahweh Shai says. Who amongst us shall dwell with everlasting burnings, which is that nuclear fire. He that walketh righteously and speaketh uprightly. So Yahweh Shai wants his men to walk righteously to the best of their ability and speak uprightly. Not lie, not deceive, not try to get one up over a brother. You're not supposed to be doing that. Okay? Or slandering a man for no reason. You're not supposed to be doing that. He that despiseth the gain of oppressions. Okay? We don't take, look, I don't take money. You ain't gonna come to me with money and say, well, would you ridicule this man? Would you put dirt on this man's name? You're not gonna come to me and do that because I'll tell you to F off. Okay? You're going to get cursed the hell out for that. And that shaketh his hands from holding of bribes. A true man, Lord, they ain't going to take bribes. They ain't going to take no money. And that stoppeth his ears from hearing of blood. You're not going to run to other camps. Please, would you do this for me? Do this favor for me. You could do a favor, but what type of favor is it? You run into other camps. You know? Yeah, if we give you this money, would you... Bro, the Lord's going to fucking destroy you. I'm saying that through the Spirit. And that stoppeth his ears from hearing of blood. So when you're stopping your ears from the hearing of blood, that's judgment. True judgment. Okay? And that shutteth his eyes from seeing evil. So there's things that are going on in the truth. And men want to shut their eyes to it. But you know the thing was beautiful? When you do that, Yahweh Shai, he leaves things, he lets things simmer like a good cooked meal, but then that judgment's going to come. And that's why I don't put out that spirit like I'm hold it and die. No, because I sin. I go off, but I'm striving. Because guys that do that eventually, because there's a difference. The difference is that certain brothers, their works, what they've done has been put out there. Okay, wicked works. But that's good because it's manifest before all. But there's other men that they hide their works, their wicked works, because they're flipping evil. So what do you think is going to happen to men like that? What do you think is going to happen? That judgment is going to be it's going to be so bad to the point of no return. That's why chastisement is good. Rebuke is good. Being humiliated is good, because you have those that are in the truth, in high up, in demons in high places. They don't want to be ridiculed. They don't want to be spoken evil of. So when that heavy judgment comes upon them, the whole world's gonna see. You understand what I mean? So let's go straight to. Maybe just a minute. Go straight to Ecclesiasticus. Shit. Slack ya. Let's go straight to Ecclesiasticus. One thing at a time. Bear me just a minute. Very, very, very serious matters we're dealing with. Very serious matters. Ecclesiastes 13 and 21, and these lessons need to be done. So this is giving you eyesight. Okay, this is what we're here to do, to give you eyesight. The Pharisees, they don't want to give you eyesight. They want to keep you in the dark. Okay. Ecclesiasticus 13 and 21. Oh, let's start at 20. As the proud hates humility. So if you're proud, you're not going to want to be humiliated. Okay? Because you're going to try to uphold your piety, your outside piety. So doth the rich abhor the poor. So the rich are going to abhor the poor. It's the same thing in this truth. Those with status are going to abhor those without status. As a rich man beginning to fall is held up of his friends. You know what this reminds me of? What we went into in what? Romans 2 and 11. Okay, a rich man beginning to fall is held up by his friends. And you see the same thing in the truth. Okay, so a man could be rich and wicked. And again, rich is not, remember, twofold. It's not according to wealth. It's according to status. Okay. A rich man beginning to fall is held up of his friends, and that's why certain men can't do videos, because they know they're guilty. That's why they can't do videos. They just pop out here and there. A rich man beginning to fall is held up of his friends, like the Pharisees. But a poor man being down is thrust away by his friends, the rest of the church. Okay, slandered. A man that's speaking the truth. When a rich man is fallen, he have many helpers. Why? Because he's got the following. He's speaking things not to be spoken. So a man can even be speaking a whole load of malarkey. Okay, not even making sense. And yet men justify him. You got men even doing videos that are not even edifying. Not really warning you about your Habashai, what he went through, the things that are about to come. Okay, they're telling you to build up in this kingdom. You got men at camp telling you to build up in this kingdom. You know? Yeah, get a better job. Do this and do that, you know? Let's come together as a community. Bro, you're speaking of the world because you're of the world. Yet men justify him. Okay, the poor man slipped. Okay. And this poor man is a righteous man. Yet they rebuked him too. Okay. And he spake wisely. So they didn't rebuke the wise man. They justified him. And he spake wisely. And could have no place. Because he didn't have a place in the high ranking with them Pharisees. They were all about themselves. When a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue. And look what he saith. Just like these entertainers. Jay-Z, if he has a seminar, a motivational speech, or who else, Denzel, or who else, people that are rich, everybody will listen. There'd be thousands listening. Because they're of status, and they extol it to the clouds. They take their words. But if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? Oh man, this he ain't of no rank. Who's this guy? You know? Who is he to... Bro, the Lord's just gonna... Man. And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him because they're wicked. And this is what I see in the truth. Okay? Example. If a brother He may be still quite fresh in this truth. He may mess up. Alright, you rebuke him. But that same energy has to be towards the men in around you, in your camp. Okay? That same energy, because what does it say in Proverbs 28 and 21? We shut up on this to have respect. Okay, respect of persons is not good. So it's not a good thing. Yeah, but I know this man. I grew up with him. I went to, because you also got certain individuals in the truth that they have biological brothers in the truth. But I want to put this out there. You still have to judge, because you may have came into the truth with a brother. You may have one brother that's righteous, and you may have another brother that's a flipping demon, a straight up demon. Well, you're gonna justify him. You can't do that. Or you may even have a friend you went to high school, because you even got men in this truth. See, this is about the spirit. You got men in this truth. They went to high school together. So what? So what? Is the spirit dealing with this man? If not, why are you justifying him? Just because you went to school together. See, again, this is what messes up men's minds. But you can't judge. To have respect for persons is not good for a piece of bread. What's a piece of bread? Money. Or you can even acquaint that with a gift. That man will transgress. So ain't no saying what a man would do. For a piece of bread, a man would transgress. Why? Because he knows he can get away with it. You know what that reminds you of? Judas. Okay. So this is what's going on. For a piece of bread, a man would transgress. Okay. Sell out. So with this lesson, I hope this was edifying. I really hope this gave you a more broader understanding of this truth. Because this is why we do these videos, to give you what eyesight. Okay. And until the next time, shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.